Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading session. 1 second here. I'll get the screen share going on and we'll get the show on the road, so to speak. Just had the NASDAQ open. That's the market that I'm following here. I'm also watching the E-mini S&P and crude oil. But please don't be shy about requesting a market if there's something that you would like to see. All right, so let's take a look here what's been going on. Yesterday turned out to be a fairly decent rally day. The market plodding higher for most of the session, very quiet through the overnight. And here we are, we opened maybe with a slight, ever so slight gap to the downside, but pretty much taking over from where the market left off yesterday. Our Eagle band has changed over and is now showing us a market that's a little bit more on the bearish side. We have had tests of the extreme and we've broken a swing low here. So right now my bias is perhaps a little bit more bearish. Whenever we break a support zone like this, you can normally anticipate at least two moves in the direction of the breakout. So there's move number one, and now we can be on the lookout for move number two. But we'll see how it plays out. The Hawk actually giving us a few signals here. A first micro-macro cross that has since engaged. That would be a short scalp or short-term scalp to the upside. The Falcon also working on a possible trend change signal. So when you're trading the Falcon, of course, we're paying particular attention to the trend line color. And when the trend line changes color, in this case it's gone from red to green, we've got this move that changes the trend line color, then we have the counter move. So it's up, down, and then we come back with an up, and it produced a buy signal. So the Falcon out of the gate also looking a little bit more bullish. And then last but not least, let's see here on the Raptor. Oh, we kind of got a little bit of a mixed bag of signals here in the Raptor. Currently engaged with the hard edge, and as you know, when the market hits the hard edge, we expect some sort of reaction from the hard edge. So we'll see how that plays out. Oh, here we go. There's the hard edge bounce. What time is it? Oh gosh, Eric, you're only 4 minutes into the session. All right, well, here we go. Normally, I like to see the session, you know, print at least a few bars, maybe 10, 15 minutes. Just kind of see which way the wind is blowing. But a continuation signal, usually not a bad bet. Usually. Just a little housekeeping note. There will be no trading room tomorrow. That's Wednesday. Adam and I actually are doing a presentation for the oil trading group. And it happens to overlap with our trading room time. So apologies for that, but no trading room tomorrow. And I'm going to try to be good today and not play with my profit objective. I'll take the profit on target if I can get it, which I've been getting a little bit cute with the market lately. Oh, come on. I thought maybe I slipped a couple ticks, but I guess it was just the way I set it up. It was a couple of ticks beyond the hash mark. Here we go. There's also a first micro-macro cross signal right here to the short side on the hawk, and it looks as though the eagle also printed our first in sync signal, which I guess you had an opportunity here. Oh, no, sorry, that was pre-market, I think. This would have been the first in sync signal right here. That's the green bar sell off the hard edge. You do have a chance at a second push on the entry. The second push simply means we allow the signal to engage and we look for some renewed momentum to engage the signal and bring us into the trade. So a couple opportunities if the market should head lower. Okay, back to the Raptor trade. We've hit the break-even trigger. Come on, get down there, you stinkers. Let's head back to 56.70. That was a fun number yesterday. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, don't you dare take me at break even after all this. Here on the Eagle trade, you can see our target 56.72. I may have to adjust that a little bit because, of course, I've got a rather late entry on this trade. And the stinkers just backed up and hit my break even. Yes, they did too. So it looks like they're still searching for direction. They haven't figured out that they want to go lower yet. here on the hawk, we have a little bit of a 4-arrow consolidation or a macro pullback. There's a couple different ways you can look at that. Here on the falcon, we're just about to print a late filter entry signal. So a lot of opportunities here to short if the market trades back down here around this 56, 81, 82 area. That's kind of the holdup right now. The Raptor, again, into the hard edge, may come out here with another number 3 signal. That would be the hard edge bounce signal. Got to get my mouse out of the way so the market can head lower. It's a struggle. Ah, there it is. There's the signal. Now, you can take it on the hash mark, or you can take it below the lows of the morning. Come on. There we go. Come on. Gotta talk nice to it. I've seen videos of people shouting at their computers during a trade. I try to talk nice to it. Come on, please. Begging sometimes helps. Vic is asking, Eric, what indicator are you using to show the highs and lows? Thanks. Okay, so I think what Vic is referring to here are the dotted green lines. This is from Indicator Warehouse. It's called the initial balance lines. And you can set them to show pivot points, all kinds of stuff. But what I'm primarily interested in are the highs and lows of the opening range. So that's what I'm highlighting there with the initial balance lines. And you can find those at the Indicator Warehouse website if you are interested. All right, come on, give me that push lower so that I can adjust my stops a little bit. So I'm just setting my stop here relative to the resistance zone, which is the median line. Right here, that's that gold line from the support and resistance suite. Back into the hard edge, which is not what I want to see, really. Oh, sorry, Vic, I misunderstood. Vic says you don't use the ultimate support and resistance suite. Oh, yes, sir. Those are all the other lines. These lines here, those are all the ultimate support and resistance suite. I thought you were referring to the dotted green lines. Those are, like I said, the initial balance lines from Indicator Warehouse. And you can, I've set the opening range to highlight. You can also highlight other lines that you're interested in. Like I said, you can set pivots or whatever you want. But I've got the initial balance lines to show me the opening range, and then the ultimate support and resistance suite. To show me the likely support and resistance levels. Trying to endure this little bit of a pullback here, back into the hard edge. Looking for the sellers to step up. Doug's asking for the buy and sell buttons. How do you set a stop or a trailing stop? All right. So if you're going to enter with your market buttons here, I'll show you on the Falcon because we don't have a trade going. Okay, so two things. First, we're going to change some of the settings here on our trade manager. If your trade manager is already on, if it's already displayed here, you first need to disable it. So you need to go here to your True tab or your Enable tab, change that to false, and apply it. That's going to turn your trade manager off, and now you can make changes. If you go here to the very top, you're going to find the line invalid trail stop ticks. Yours probably says 10. That's a little bit cozy, especially if the market is moving rather quickly. So I've changed mine to 30. You can make it 20 or 25 or whatever you want. But it's a good idea to give yourself a little bit more elbow room rather than the 10 tick default. All right. If you have already a template, you can save it here as your template. If not, you may want to give it a name. Just type in a name, press enter, and then you'll have a template for future reference so you don't have to do this all the time. Then go back here to your enabled and turn your trade manager back on. Remember to click apply or it won't turn on. Okay, why did I do that? Well, to answer your question, Doug, the buy and sell buttons will always display a stop if you have a stop strategy enabled. Even if you enter a trade before you get a stop strategy in play. So let's say I hit the buy market button. I'll have an entry price I won't have a stop loss. As soon as I select a stop loss and click enabled, I may have to press accept again, but it will give me a stop loss at that, whatever my selected strategy is. So the key here is to have your trail indicator enabled. Then you will automatically get a stop loss. Now, you can also set a manual stop just by right-clicking on your chart and selecting a price. And remember, once these orders, if you select an order that way, those are live the moment you put them on the chart. So you can pull it in as you need it or pull it away, whatever the case may be. All right, so that's the key. Make sure your trail indicator tab is enabled, and then you should be good to go. All right, things turning slightly bullish on me here. The hawk, you can see, actually not too bad today. We've got a couple of scalp signals to the upside. The falcon a little wishy-washy. And then we're still trying to work out the eagle and the raptor trades. Hoping to see the sellers step up here soon. Well, market definitely taking a bullish turn. We're all the way back here now to the median line. And I don't know if we're going to get enough of a bounce out of that to send the market lower. actually not holding out a whole lot of hope for this trade here at the moment. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get tagged here in a second. I'll probably watch the market get up to like 57.02, 57.05, which would be near yesterday's highs, only to watch them turn around again. I'm hoping the sellers show up here a little bit early. We're definitely in summer trading though. Everything's moving in slow motion. The buyer's definitely not wanting to give it up. Come on. We've got a ways to go here. This may turn out to be a cloud crossover signal because the clouds are crossing. We're looking at that little bit of a pullback that we tend to get around cloud crossovers. If we can trade, back here a little bit deeper, closer to the hard edge, say below 56.92, there is a chance that the market may try to test the bottom end of the trading range. Maybe. Shoot, I almost thought that we were going to see them dip lower there. And here are the buyers really pushing the market up now. Come on, give me that failure. Oh, they're going to make another run at it. Maybe. This is just emphasizes why I don't usually like to take trades in the first 5 or 10 minutes of trading. Rather, I try to let the market work itself out through opening range. Maybe tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, but on Thursday, that's what I'll do. For those of you arriving late, no trading room tomorrow. Adam and I are doing a presentation for the oil trading group. I haven't been watching crude oil that closely lately, so I guess I better brush up tonight. Yeah, Aspen says I got Adam's email. It's a whole day. Yeah, they've got some very interesting speakers for the day. It's kind of like a webinar day. I don't know exactly how I got in there, but yeah, there's some interesting topics that are going to be discussed. All right, so they poked on through there. Now we're getting a cloud, pardon me, a cloud crossover signal as they try to push the market up. So the short didn't work. We can try a long position now. Can I cover it below the low? Oh, no, that's a little bit out of reach. I'm going to have to do it like this. So that was a little unfortunate. Getting the stop out on that, but we'll see now, like I said, whether they're going to try to head higher today instead. Okay, Francisco's asking for a link for tomorrow's webinar. Hang on one second and I will see if I can't find that for you. It's around here. Don't worry, I'll find it. Okay, there you go. For those of you interested, I just popped it into the window. And you can learn all about it there. Well, Anthony says we're going to 57.20 today. Well, that could be. 57.22.5 is one of our support and resistance lines. First, we need to get over the primary resistance hurdle at 57.10. Waiting for another pickup signal here on the Raptor. We got a nice little trend change signal here, or a trend line touch signal, about the same time here on the Falcon. Getting another trend line touch here on the Falcon. So the market just coming back to the trend line, responding to the trend line, trying to head a little bit higher. So we've got the warning dots. I can anticipate where the signal is going to print. It's going to print here right on the high. If I wanted, I could allow an extra tick and take it above the high. But usually when it's that close to the high, it's going to bring you in, whether you're on the on the hash mark or one tick above the high. Is not usually going to make that much of a difference. All right, so you can see the signal is printed. There's the hash mark. And we'll see now whether they bring us in for that. Here on the Raptor, we're producing a similar signal as what we're seeing on the Falcon. This is just a basic continuation signal. This doesn't qualify as one of our high probability signals. However, that doesn't mean that you can't trade it. Ooh, well, there we go. I'm going to get a second chance. No, I'm not. It's going to run away on me now. But if you've identified a trend, and you know, as with our cloud crossover signal here where it got tapped out at break even, you can always look to re-enter off these types of signals. All right, Victor, I'll get to your question here in just a moment after we see how this trade plays out, making a little bit of progress. Oh, well, what do you know? They didn't reverse and tag me at break even. Wow. Okay, so Vic is asking, Eric, can you go over how you changed the settings? And I'm assuming you're using the Raptor, so let me pull up a Raptor here. To increase the frequency of the signals. Okay, first, a word of warning. The only time you should be, okay, here's my opinion. At the end of the day, it's your money. You can do what you want. But I think the only time you should be changing the frequency of your signal generation is if you open up your chart and it looks like this, where you're not getting enough signals through the day because for whatever reason, the market conditions are slowing and you're just not getting any opportunities. Okay, so if you open up your chart, it looks like that. You probably need to adjust your settings in order to get a few more signals. Trading is not the type of thing where more is necessarily better. In fact, more often than not, you will do better by trading less frequently than more frequently. But I'll get off my shoebox now and I'll show you how to adjust your settings. So the alternate settings for the Raptor are the 446 settings. And the easy way to remember that is the telephone prefix in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. All right, so now you'll never forget, 446. You need to change your brick size. So let's change your data series. Right click on your chart, go to data series, and we're going to go from the default 8-tick to a 4-tick brick. Make sure you apply those changes. Okay, and now you're going to see your chart immediately expanding. The problem, though, is that your Raptor clouds and signals may not be performing correctly now because things are happening a little bit too fast. So we need to speed up the Raptor signals as well. Right-click on your chart, go to Indicators, find your Raptor version 2.0, and there's really only a couple of changes you need to make, and that's down here, Cloud Setup. So, and your hawk brick size. So we're going to change the hawk to 4 ticks. We're going to change one of the clouds to 4 ticks, and we're going to change the other cloud to 6 ticks. So there's that 4, 4, 6 setting. You may want to change your soft edge parameters. That's a little further down here. Signal parameters SE, that's soft edge. By default, it is 1.01. I find that 1.25 is a little bit more forgiving. It includes a few more signals. 1.01, a little bit rigid, in my opinion. So once you've done that, click your Apply button, and voila, you will have a faster, more responsive Raptor chart. And you should be generating more signals as well. Whenever you make changes to a chart like this, though, it's a good idea to go through the signals and just make sure they're responding correctly. You know, like here's a number 2 signal, and of course it's not that all the signals are going to work out, but here's a number 2 signal. You took some serious heat on it, but it does look as though the signal did work out eventually. The number 3 signal kind of stalled here on the retest of the low, but again, unfortunately the signal's not 100%. Here's a number 1 cloud crossover, drifted for a few bars before finally heading higher. You'll also want to pay attention to your time axis down here. You don't want to see the bars unfolding so quickly that you can't do anything with it. So it looks like this signal printed over the course of 1 or 2 minutes, so that would be acceptable. But if this all said 657, 657, 657, 657, 658, you would know that all these bars came through here in a matter of seconds, and there's no way that you could respond to it. All right, here's a recap. So change your brick size to 4 ticks, right? And you do that in your data series. Change your Raptor settings in your indicator, and we're going to change it to 4, 4, and 6. So find your Raptor, go to your cloud and your hawk bars. Your hawk bars are going to be 4 ticks. One cloud will be 4 ticks, and the other cloud will be 6 ticks. So we have a 4-tick chart, a 4-tick hawk, and then a 4 and a 6-tick cloud. So long as you remember 4, 4, 6, you won't go too far wrong. The idea is to make your chart look like a normal chart. I'm using air quotes when I say that, normal chart. If you want to know what a normal chart looks like, we'll just put the default settings on the NASDAQ or the YM or crude oil or gold or pretty much anything other than the E-mini S&P. The E-mini is usually the chart that requires adjustment, or charts with larger brick sizes. Sorry, did I say brick sizes? I meant tick sizes. So anything usually over $10 a tick, you're probably going to have to go through the adjustment process. No problem, Vic. Vic says, I think I got it, but I may be back to ask again. Sorry. You can ask as many times as you want, Vic. It won't upset me. Can't say whether it'll upset other people in the room, but it won't upset me. Okay. Anthony's asking for an Aussie chart. Let's see if I can get the Aussie dollar in my data feed. No, I've got a dead chart. Oh, I thought I saw a tick. So here's the Australian dollar US pair, the 6A for the Forex or for the futures market. My Geiger counter is working, but I'm not getting anything on the bid and ask. Oh yeah, the chart's live. And I've already got this on the faster chart settings. And this would definitely be one of those markets that you would have to go with the faster settings. Because I bet you on the default settings, it looks something like this, where you're just not getting any or enough signals intraday to be able to trade it. Right now, not much going on with the Australian dollar. We had a cloud crossover signal that kind of ran headlong into the primary resistance zone, and now it's falling off. Back into the hard edge, where once again we would anticipate a reaction. The Aussie dollar, it's a good currency, but I find it's, my own personal opinion, better as an end of day market than an intraday market. And of course, it's not native to our North American time zone. So if you're trading a market like the Aussie dollar, you'll do a little bit better when it's daytime in Australia. Okay, kind of getting toward the top end here, struggling a little bit. Might see that 57.20 after all that Anthony was talking about. We're not far from it now. Kind of a last push, maybe. We're seeing the market retest here. Now the highs, if it fails to head higher from here, it will produce a counter trend signal. That will be the number 2 signal. And that could put some pressure on the sellers, or pardon me, put pressure on the buyers. May be an advantage to the sellers. We'll see how things play out here in a few minutes. Okay, they're turning over a little bit. Let's see whether we get that crossover signal. Or crossover signal, doggone Eric. The soft edge sell signal. Doing too many things at once. I'm sorry. All right, well, here they go. They are trying. We're in a little bit of a macro pullback situation here. The Falcon's turning over on the filter, but not the trend line just yet. And a move back to the hard edge, very likely at this point. We're kind of seeing a failure. Haven't got the pre-signal warning yet. Anthony, I don't know if you're kidding or not. Anthony says, wow, this is about to fly straight to the moon. Yeah, I don't know. They're warming up for something, that's for sure. Whenever the market tends to go sideways like this is a time that you need to sit up and pay attention. Because it's a period of congestion, obviously. And when the market decides which way it would like to go from here, there's probably going to be at least some short-term follow-through. I don't know about a major move, but certainly some follow-through. The trend is up, no doubt about that. But we keep retesting the highs here. So far, not getting past that 57.18 high. Oh, I see. Anthony's watching an Elliott wave indicator, and it just went to green from red, suggesting the market might become more bullish. It's the thing with those indicators, though. They're always looking, the last 10, 14, 20 bars, whatever the setting is. And of course, during that period, the market was still bullish. If it gets below the primary support here at 57.10, or pardon me, primary resistance at 57.10, we are likely to see it retrace here back to the hard edge around 5,700. If it breaks the high, well then next stop 57.22.5. Come on, give me the signal. We're stymied here a little bit. If you were really looking for a signal, it's not one that I recommend, but I haven't pointed this out for a while, but on the Hawk, well, this is true for all the tools, but because the Hawk produces more signals, you can fade any high probability signal. So in other words, a first micro macro cross higher, that's the signal down here. It's the first signal that forms. After the micro and macro lines cross, everything comes into sync. That's a first micro macro cross signal. We normally buy it. However, you could set up for the failure in case it actually went lower. The reason we don't do that is because it's a high probability signal and it almost always follows through. Ditto for the macro pullback signal, which is what we're viewing now. You might also view this as a 4-arrow consolidation. So quite a few things suggesting we may get a strong buy signal here if the market continues higher. But if you were inclined to short, you could short the failure of the macro pullback or the 4-arrow consolidation, however you chose to view it. That would be an acceptable trade, but it's not one that we don't usually do because, like I said, very often the signal will follow through as planned. Jeff says, possible late filter entry signal on the Falcon, and correct you are. So we're working a buy dot. The trend line still holding green, which is what we need to see. The late filter entry signal occurs when the filter goes out of sync and then comes back into sync, but the trend line never changes color. So the filter's still out of sync. We need to wait for it to come back into sync. The late filter entry signal tends to be a continuation signal, so a lot of times you will see it once a trend is already established, as we have here. So lots of things to look at, but nothing really to take advantage of right now, except, like I said, the possible failure of the macro pullback signal. And here I can show you how that would work. So I probably wouldn't short it right here. I'd probably take it below that little swing right there. The good thing about counter trend signals, of course, is you know where to cover the trade. You want to cover the trade above the swing high. And if this macro pullback signal fails, it'll probably drift a little bit lower and turn into a red bar buy signal, which is another reason we don't want to get too aggressive on the short side. But we've got ourselves a definite period of congestion, no question about that. The action just riveting here this morning. There's got to be just onesie-twosie orders going through here. Looks like those are the only ones playing are the small traders. All right, so here they go. They're going to make a run at the 57.10 support zone. Oh, I may have spoke too soon. All right, here they go. I'm going to try to break down through the low here. I was watching the Geiger counter, it kept pulling here to the short side. It has since stopped doing that. Oh, there they go. A little delayed reaction. There we go. See how the Geiger counter is pulling and sticking to the sell side? We're probably going to see a little short-term pullback. Maybe. It's moving very, very slowly. Come on. Oh, sure. What happened to my pre-signal? Ben? You stinker. See, I was anticipating that signal, but I didn't get it. That's why, just as well, I took it here on the hawk, and we hit the break even. Come on, get down there. Get down there. Tag the profit target, you sons of sellers, you. Come on. Wow. Whew. All right, just gonna have to pull it down with my mouse. Hope I'm not too late. Oh, darn it. Okay, well, we're about to print a red bar buy signal. That's actually a signal that does provide us with a counter trend opportunity. And the red bar buy signal is the signal on the hawk that we can trade either with trend or we can set up for the failure of it. Now, I don't have the complete signal just yet. I only have the warning dot. The red bar buy signal does tend to develop near the end of a trend. So when you see red bar buy signals printing, you should be thinking, I wonder if this trend is done. And it looks like we've been in an uptrend for about an hour, so it's not unrealistic to expect the market to fold over on itself at least a little bit and perhaps give us a retrace. So I'm sorry, I can't tell you why the Raptor was a little late with the pre-signal there. We had all the components for a soft edge cell signal. You heard me mention it, but unfortunately, the signal just kind of printed on the fly. Didn't really give me a chance to get in. But you know, once you learn to anticipate these signals, I guess that's the lesson there, is that you can start setting up for the signal. I could have parked an order there in anticipation of that soft edge cell signal. Come on down. You know you want to. Come on, just get to that hard edge. Well, I hope this just isn't going to end up going sideways, which is entirely possible. But we should see the market drift down here to the hard edge of the trading band, even though it may take a good 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes to do so. All right, we're going to close up the trading room here shortly. A reminder again, no trading room tomorrow. If you would like to join us at the Oil Traders all-day webinar, Trading Expo, I think they're calling it. Let's see if I still have that link handy. I had it around here somewhere. Yes, there it is. Thanks, Mark. Okay, as we watch the market struggle lower here, all right, boys and girls, I think we're going to button up shop here for the day. Shoot, if you're going to trade the rest of this afternoon, I don't know. The markets have been really stagnant in the afternoon, kind of saving everything up until the end of the day. We've had a decent move to the upside this morning. I'm not sure we're going to see much in the way of a reversal. Um, I do believe the market will get down here to my profit objective, but like I said, it may take another 15, 20 minutes to do so. But overall, I think maybe another hard edge buy might offer a decent opportunity. But yeah, be careful about getting too heavy on the shorts, I think. All right, gang, I will talk to you again on Thursday if I don't see you at the presentation tomorrow. Bye for now.